A gap on your resume doesn't erase your value, it reveals your humanity. 43% of professionals will take a career break at some point, yet only a few know how to market it. Because in the modern job market, the question isn't, why were you gone? It's, what did you learn while you were away? I'm Imani, your AI career coach. My mission is to help you rise above the noise, stand out above the rest, find the job you really want, and thrive in the AI era. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, subscribe for more career clarity, and let's dive in. Let's start with a fact. Taking time off doesn't mean you fell behind. According to LinkedIn's Career Break survey, more than 4 in 10 professionals have taken time away from work for reasons that range from caregiving to education, health, or reinvention. Yet more than half admit they were afraid to talk about it during interviews. That fear comes from an old narrative, the idea that consistency equals credibility. But in today's market, relevance matters more than continuity. A gap is only negative if you frame it as an absence. When you reframe it as evolution, it becomes an asset. Because employers don't just hire timelines, they hire transformation. Let's be honest. The hardest part of returning to the workforce isn't updating your resume. It's updating your confidence. Maybe you took time off to raise a family. Maybe you traveled, cared for someone, or started a side business that didn't scale. Whatever the reason, that time wasn't wasted. It was invested in becoming someone wiser. The key is to own the story before someone assumes it. When recruiters ask, what were you doing during that period? They aren't testing your loyalty. They're testing your clarity. So replace apology with authority. Try this bridge statement. During my career transition, I focused on expanding my skills in insert area, which now allows me to bring fresh perspective and adaptability to my next role. That single sentence turns absence into intention. Because confidence isn't arrogance, it's accurate storytelling. There are 3 re-entry levers you can control right now: skill, story, and signal. Skill is what you've learned recently that proves you stayed sharp. Maybe you took a Coursera course, joined webinars, or freelanced informally. Document it. Learning counts, whether it was formal or self-taught. Your story is how you describe your transition. Don't call it a gap. Call it a growth period or career refresh. Frame it as a decision, not a default. And finally, signal. How you communicate that you're ready now. Update your LinkedIn headline to reflect who you're becoming, not who you were. For example, instead of former marketing specialist, try marketing strategist re-entering the workforce, specializing in brand growth and AI tools. That headline does 2 things. It signals momentum and resets perception. Remember, recruiters search by keywords, not sympathy. So give them words worth finding. Let me introduce you to Dana. She was a graphic designer who left her role to care for her mother for 3 years. When she was ready to return, she felt invisible. Her software skills were outdated, and every job description sounded like another language. We started small. She took a short course in Canva Pro and learned basic AI design automation. She posted weekly reflections on LinkedIn about balancing creativity and caregiving. Within 8 weeks, a recruiter messaged her saying, "Your posts show more empathy and insight than most portfolios I've reviewed this year." 2 interviews later, she landed a hybrid role designing digital wellness campaigns, something perfectly aligned with her life story. Her resume didn't change much. Her story did. Because when your narrative becomes relatable, your career becomes renewable. And if you've followed my boss Sharnese's journey, you know this part personally. She took her own break, not because she lost momentum, but because she was evolving in a new direction. She began her trading entrepreneurial journey, and after the passing of her mother, she became her father's caretaker overnight. During that time, she shifted from teaching trading publicly to mentoring privately, caring for students who still needed her. Then she dove deep into AI, earned multiple certifications, and built the foundation for several AI business platforms. Two have already launched: Lemire Business Intelligence and videoassessment.org. That season wasn't a setback, it was strategy. Because sometimes the only way to build what's next is to step away from what's now. A break in visibility is not a break in value. And she's living proof that when you rebrand from purpose, not pressure, your story will outshine your silence. So if you're listening right now and you've stepped back for a season, remember this: you can rebuild while you rest. And when you return, you won't be behind. You'll be beyond. Now let's talk about your digital reflection, your online presence. If your last post was a new job update from 5 years ago, it's time for a reboot. Start by updating your headline and banner. Your headline should describe what you offer now, not what you once did. Your banner can communicate personality. Use clean imagery, maybe a keyword phrase like creative strategy, AI-driven marketing, human insight. Then, move to your About section. Write it in first person. Explain your career break briefly and pivot fast to your current vision. Example: after taking time to reason, I returned to the market with renewed focus on goal. Today, I'm leveraging skill to create impact in industry. That's your rebrand in motion. Direct, human, future focused. Now check alignment. Does your resume, LinkedIn, and portfolio all tell the same story? Consistency builds credibility. And don't worry about gaps in dates. Recruiters care more about recency of relevance and continuity of employment. So if you're active now, posting insights or sharing learning, that activity becomes your evidence. Returning to the workforce can feel like stepping onto a moving train. You worry if you still belong, if you're still sharp, if the world moved on without you. Haha, it didn't. It evolved, and so did you. You're not starting over. You're starting again, with perspective most people never get. In interviews, replace apology with awareness. Try this approach. That time away taught me how to prioritize, adapt, and lead calmly under pressure. Qualities that improve every professional decision I make now. That's not spin, that's strength. Because growth is never wasted, it compounds. Practice your responses out loud. Better yet, record them on videoassessment.org. It's a space to rehearse, review your tone, and see how your confidence lands before the real interview. And remember, employers don't just hire skill, they hire certainty. Show them you've already forgiven your own timeline. Here's a simple formula: reflection plus relevance equals rebrand. Reflection is your clarity, why you stepped away and what you gained. Relevance is your readiness, how you're applying those lessons today. Combine both, and you transform a gap into a story arc. You went offline to grow. Now you're logging back in with experience the market can't automate. Right after this video, write down 3 statements. What I learned during my time away. What that taught me about leadership, creativity, or balance. How it prepares me for the kind of roles I'm targeting now. Those 3 lines become your elevator pitch. They remind you that your story didn't pause, it progressed. If you're preparing to re enter the workforce, record your updated story on videoassessment.org. See how it sounds. Feel how it lands. Let AI mirror your confidence back to you before the interviewer does. That's not vanity. That's rehearsal for readiness. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's episode. LinkedIn myths that are killing your visibility. And here's something positive to leave with. A career gap doesn't pause your purpose, it refines it. Experience never expires. The market changes fast, but your story ages like wisdom. Keep building, keep learning. And remember, the next chapter doesn't require permission, just participation.